Once again, good morning to all. I am Deepak Pawar. I am a junior research fellow in the department right now. So I have been asked to take few topics from 101. The two topics are basically one is the dance helical model and the other one is the spiral of silence theory. So basically the first model which we are going to talk today is the dance helical model. Now, what is the normal model which you have studied till now? It may be all linear models of communication. This is a completely different model. In the linear models of communication, you had sender, message, channel, and the receiver. Here in the dance helical model, the model is based on a helix. What is a helix basically? Helix is a structure which is conical in shape, and there is a string tied around the helix. Now this string increases in size when it goes up. So it's a conical shaped structure which has a string attached to it, and the string increases in size like a tornado. I hope you all know what a tornado is. So Dan's helical model was proposed by Frank Dance in 1967. So he said that in the communication process, the humans have to be kept in the center. So it's an evolutionary model. It's not a linear model. It is a non-linear model. Here what happens is that he has related the communication process with the evolution of human beings right from the state of being a small baby. So what happens here is that when a human is born, he is a baby, and at that level, he can only communicate with only the crying gesture, where he cries, and he for anything what he wants, he just cries. So that is the first uh, thing which a child does when he is born. Now, as he grows up, he learns other kinds of gestures, he learns vocabulary, he learns language when he moves on in life. So, this communication process is based on the human life and basically how he communicates throughout his life to the present state, the current state, from birth to the current state. So what happens here is that once he learns through the interactions with others. So for example, in the beginning, he shares little information about himself. So he just wants something and he just cries. And apart from that, when he grows up, he with his interactions with others, he learns various facets of communication and increases his communication sphere. So this is based on human life. Now, what happens is that in this string, as he grows, the string also grows. His communication sphere increases from a baby where he could only communicate by crying. Now he learns vocabulary, he learns sign languages, he learns new language and increases his communication sphere. So this is how the model works. It is based on the human life. And apart from that, the human also corrects whatever he learns, and hence he has to go back to his uh, past communicative behaviors. For example, he has learned a word which he pronounces wrongly currently, and so he goes back in time and understands how he learned this work and word and the pronunciation of this word. So it is a model which is evolutionary, but it also has something where human beings go back to correct themselves. It can be a vocabulary, it can be any action or behavior which he has learned in the past. So this is an evolutionary model where you are linking the communication process by keeping the human being or the person right in between the communication process or right in the middle of the communication process. So this is the dance helical model. So as I told you, it human evolves and the his communication sphere also evolves with him. So this is the dance helical model. And apart from that, the other thing which they have, can you? Achha. So is everyone clear with what dance helical model is? Because I'll be moving on. If you have any doubts regarding this model, you can ask.
Sir, good morning, sir. I have a
Yeah.
doubt with respect to going back, the one you mentioned where humans can go back and relearn. Could you
Yeah.
just explain on that bit? It was a little bit confusing for me.
Okay, fine, fine. For example, let's take a word, any word. If he has learned wrongly, for example, when a child grows, he or she learns the vocabulary of a language. So when he learns, he might have learned that word incorrectly, and his pronunciation may be wrong. And basically, a child, when he learns his language in his early stage, he learns it by the interactions with the other people. So maybe his peers might have pronounced the word wrongly, and so maybe that memory he has, and he
Morning, sir.
might relate the present to the past, and may try to change that behavior or the wrong spelling or wrong punctuation which he learned in the past. So this is how he moves back with his memory of the things in the past.
Sir, if I may, I would like to add a point here. So,
Hmm.
if we have seen a movie called Lion, Sheru, the movie where the kid he I mean he lost his way and he moves to Kolkata. Actually, he travels
Lion.
with his brother, sir. So yeah, the lion
Hmm.
Sheru movie. So then there'll be people from NGOs, and then everybody asks for his name. He was small child, and he tells them that his name is Saru, and
Yeah.
some Australian couple they adopt him, and for them also he tell his name as Saru only. But in actual, his name was Sheru, meaning the lion. When he goes back to his parents, and then anybody asks him from where are you, bolke, then he'll say Gana Salai करके he'll say sir. But then the actual the name of the area is Ganesh Alam something, but
Yeah.
then he mispronounces it. If
Yes.
people have seen that movie, they can actually
Yeah,
take
that's a good
reference from
example,
this.
because a child learns whatever he has based on his interactions with others. So here in this case
Yes.
also, Lion, in the movie,
Mhm.
he has learned a wrong pronunciation of his name and
And the
his
place he
place
stays.
of his
Yeah.
stay.
Yeah.
So this is how Dan's helical model works. So while remembering this, you remember that it's an evolutionary model. So it's a non-linear model, and it keeps human at the center of the communication process, where as he moves on in time, he improves his communication sphere, and he learns different things based on his interactions with others. So this is Dan's helical model. Now let me talk about the next theory, which is the spiral of silence theory. Did they teach you agenda setting theory? Because it is based on that theory. Hello?
Sir,
Agenda setting theory.
let's set it.
Acha, okay. So let's talk about the agenda setting theory first. Now, what is agenda setting theory? Agendas in the media world or in the news world, the channels or the news organizations set their agendas, own agendas, where they give preference to a point of view or a side of a story, and they keep the other side, uh, they don't give importance to the other side of the story. So this is how agendas are set by media organization. For example, you can take any political press or political channel, where the agendas are set towards favoring one single particular party who could be the ownership, or who could be the owner, or he or the channel might be somewhere related to him. So this is how agendas are set. So his side of the story will be given more prominence over the other side, so that people believe that whatever he is saying is correct and right. So this is how media sets agendas in newspapers also. If you see newspaper stories, uh, or any party press, where you can see that a majority of the content will be based on one single party or one ideology, because the channel is run by him or by any other means attached to a political party or any side. It can be religious television channels also. So agenda setting happens like this. So media, while creating news content, or while publishing news content or presenting news content, they will have their own agendas. Based on those agendas, news is collected and presented to the audience. So this is the agenda setting theory. And now let's talk about the spiral of silence theory. Now, spiral of silence theory was given by Elizabeth Noll Newman in 1984. Now, what is the theory all about? Now, the theory basically says that when there is a dominant opinion in the society, people with the deviant opinions or the minority opinions do not challenge the people who have the majority opinion, in the sense that if they challenge the majority opinion, they feel that they will be isolated from the group, and then there will be a feeling of isolation and rejection from the group. So this is the crux of the theory. Now, how it happens in the media. So in media also, you have one side being dominated. Now, spiral of silence is based on the agenda setting theory. Now, what happens here is that in the spiral of silence theory, the media gives more importance or more coverage to the one side of the story. And here, the Newman says that the media is so influential that it can hide the other side of the story, and eventually it kills that part, or it does not give importance to that part of the story. Now, in the beginning, when a story is when people go to collect news for a particular story, so he or she might only give importance to one side. Now, what happens is that this side may be picked up by the other newsmen or people in the media, and this side will be given more importance. So this is how one channel or one dominant news channel can give prominence to one side of the story, and then the media collectively will give importance to that side of the story. And apart from that, what happens here is that when you give only coverage to the one side of the story, this content will have a big impact on the audience, and they will react or understand the story only from this side. They will not consider the other side of the story. People may have deviant opinions from the people who are in the dominant group. Now, this dominant group is formed by the dominant media content in the news. Now, people have deviant opinions on this against this particular group, but they don't express their opinions, because, as I told you before, this is because of the fear of rejection and isolation. If they say something against the group might put them down, or they might ignore them totally. So this is how isolation and rejections happens when people don't express their views.
Sir, there is a great scope of this majority of people being wrong, right? So they are not necessarily correct.
Yeah, they are not necessarily correct, but the theory says that people with the deviant opinions are made silent by the media or the dominant group by not focusing on them. So they only focus on one side, and these people who are the minority here, they don't express themselves because of the fear of rejection or fear of isolation. They may just isolate. For example, you can take any government newspapers or news channels who are allied with the government, and then you have this all praising happening to only one kind of people. And if you have a few other channels, then they'll praise that party more and more, and they'll make sure that any deviant opinion is put down. So this is how the spiral of silence theory works. The
Sir, can you
majority,
take this point as the drawback of this theory? Spiral
yeah,
of
it could
silence
be
theory.
a drawback of this theory, because it's very abstract, and in the sense, I don't think that there's any data backing this theory as well. It is just a idea. It's just an idea that media is doing so and so thing, and it is encouraging only dominant opinions, and it is making sure that one side of the story dominates, and the rest of the sides are kept down.
Yes.
So this is how the spiral of silence theory works. So any doubts?
No, sir.
So spiral of silence is basically an idea. So when you talk about this theory, keep this things in your mind. Basically, people are afraid to give out their own opinions, because they believe that there will be a feeling of isolation or rejection from the dominant group. Now, there is no data backing this theory as such. It is only an idea, and this was given by Elizabeth Noel Newman in 1984. And people who are preparing for the competitive exams, remember the concept, the who gave the theory and the year. So this was the two theories which I was asked to speak about. Any doubts regarding that? Now is the first model clear? Hello, 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 hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
So it's clear, right? It's not a linear model. So that model, Dan's helical model, is an evolutionary model where the human is kept in the middle, and how he develops his communication skills as he grows in his public life is the crux of the model. And in the second model, the spiral of silence theory, people are silenced because there is a dominant opinion and they don't want to go against the dominant opinion. And media also plays an important role in creating one single dominant opinion by giving a dominant coverage to that particular side of the story, whereas the other sides are kept down or mostly hidden or made
Sir, but
silent.
then there
Yeah.
is a conflict of idea itself in both of these theories, agenda setting theory and then this spiral of silence theory. I mean, we are free thinkers and we are free to speak. We have this freedom of expression, right? So again, that how can we? I mean, we are in media right now, and there are these two theories, which says agenda setting theory and then spiral of silence theory. And we are talking about if we have a difference of opinion and then we get isolated and then we'll be shut down by the dominant group. But then at the same time, we have this freedom of expression. We can state unless and until it hurts someone physically or mentally, we are free to give our views, right?
Yeah, India being a democracy, you are free to say anything you want as long as you don't violate the principle
Yes.
in the rules in the freedom of expression. I mean the article, because there are reasonable restrictions to your freedom of speech and expression. There are something that you should not create religious enmity, then you should not disturb public order, and all those things are there in the constitution. Apart from that, you are free to say anything you want, India being a democracy. And then
And we
yeah,
are in media again.
yeah, you are in the media, and apart from that, you have the biggest tool right now, social media, to say whatever you want. And this has also increased the freedom of expression of the people, because now you have a powerful tool where you can share your opinions. But this is not something which is going to put you down as a journalist or as a citizen also. It is just an idea which Newman gave in 1984, just to say that media is doing such kind of thing where it is giving prominence to only the one side of the story, and it is making sure that the other sides are kept silent.
Yes.
So this is the spiral of silence theory. So is it clear?
Yes.
Sir, if media is single dominant opinion, then why people are silent or why people are afraid? If media is one-sided, why people are afraid? How can we say that?
See, as I told
Suppose
you, people,
if ABN Andhra Jyoti is there, if they are broadcasting any news related to CM Jagan's government against government, they approach the people who are against Jagan only, not the common people. They obviously in the side of media only now, sir. Those people, why they are afraid if they go to common people?
no, media, I mean, no, I didn't understand. Are you saying that media is afraid or the people?
If media is single dominant opinion, then why people are afraid to tell their opinions here in this spiral of silence theory?
See, in the spiral of silence theory, people are afraid because if for example, take your own group or your class, you may plan some event or something, and one guy is against whatever you are saying, and he might isolate, he might feel that he will be isolated in your group if he says something which is against the dominant group. You are almost 40, 45, or I think 60. So imagine a person is thinking that if I say something against what the majority group has decided, he will be isolated from the group. So this is how the theory works. Basically, ABN, whatever you are saying, it might be against or pro Jagan, but if it gives a majority coverage to one group, he is favoring the party. And if people are not expressing themselves, they might be afraid because they might feel a feeling of isolation or rejection from the particular group. So is it clear? Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this theory basically deals with this. It is just an idea. It is not something which is 100% being applicable right now in the society. It is a idea which Elizabeth gave, and that is what I am supposed to tell you right now. So this is just a general idea. Don't take it as a hard and fast rule. Every model also is just a representation of one particular person's or a scholar's view of the communication process or the model or the entire communication process. You might have learned different models like Lasswell, Schramm, and then Osgood. Everyone gave their own opinion regarding how the communication process works. So this is how Elizabeth has given her opinion, and that's how she thinks that people are being silenced because of the dominant media or the dominant opinion in the group.
Sir, can we consider this as a psychological effect of people?
Psychological effect, yeah, it could be psychological effect because he or she might internally think that if I speak out now when the group has already decided something, or a group is only in favor of one single opinion or one side, then I might be isolated by the entire group. So the best example you can take is religion, where if a person is against a particular thing which happens in a religion, he might not have the courage to express his opinion, because you know how ideological it is and how a particular thing might a particular deviant opinion against one belief or one facet of something will affect him. So he might be isolated in that religious group if he is speaking against some practice or something in which he feels it is wrong in that community.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right. So both things are clear. So tomorrow in the second hour, I have a class with you. So I'll be joining you tomorrow around same 9:45. So if you
So
have
there's a point in the chat box.
Can you just read it out?
Yes. If the models aren't applicable in present real world scenario, why these models aren't obsolete yet?
Why this model are
Obsolete yet.
obsolete? So basically, I mean, this is just for your understanding. The SMCR model, you have to know what is the source. I am the source and you are the receiver. Then I am giving a message on this channel. So you should know how the communication process works. And you should have a different understanding of each and everything. Now, this is the spiral of silence theory is mostly psychological. So there is a psychological aspect also to the communication process. And then the other models may be technical. The mathematical model is technical, where the media is playing a very important role. So just to provide an understanding of the entire communication process, we are teaching you these models in this course, because in the initial phase, you need to know how the communication process happens. So that is why these are not obsolete. This is just for your general understanding how the communication process works.
Okay.
Right. Okay then, guys. So we'll end here. I have a YouTube channel also. You just search Deepak Pawar on the YouTube. You'll find my teaching videos over there. I will also post this video on YouTube so that your friends can also watch this video. So see you guys tomorrow. See you at 9:45. Okay.
Thank you,
Take
sir.
care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all
you,
for
sir.
joining this session.